everyone, welcome back. This is Diana Zanis, and in this episode I'm going to be talking about Aries on the cusp of the 4th house. And just as a quick reminder before I start, if you like my content, please feel free to subscribe and like, and I'm on Patreon if you'd like to think about supporting my work. Okay, so on to Aries in the 4th house. So these natives love a home that is just full of action. They could run a business from it or work from home, but one way or another, it's a place where plenty of things are going on because these natives absolutely love action in the home. So for instance, that could mean kids and pets running around, playing, or it could mean having friends and family over often and having a busy life with them. Going on fun trips with their family is really fulfilling for them, and it's lots of fun. So whether it's a weekend getaway, a day trip, or a spontaneous outdoor adventure, these natives enjoy infusing excitement into their family life. Aries is a leadership sign, so these people feel most comfortable when they're in charge of the home, directing what goes on within it. It's absolutely vital for these people to have independence and autonomy within their four walls. I think if they feel like it's being siphoned off somehow, they certainly won't be happy about it. No one really enjoys being told what to do in their own home, of course, but these people really won't tolerate it at all. A home environment that allows them to do as they please, when they please, is pretty much the only environment that works well for them. Such a place allows them to maintain their well-being, enjoy their lives, and flourish. And being a cardinal sign, taking on new ambitious projects within the home is definitely their strong suit. They're always determined to see their projects through to completion. Sometimes they can become a little bit bored with them and move on to something else. This is less true for those with a lot of earth energy in their chart. So that's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, because earth is known for its patience and persistence. But as long as I mentioned earlier, as long as they're just really enthusiastic about what they're doing, they will see it through to completion, and they will do a really good job of it too, because they want their home to look absolutely perfect, exactly as they have it in their mind's eye. In terms of where they would like to live, I think it's either really going to be in a natural location like the countryside, or in a bustling city location. For many with this placement, a castle with an intense and captivating history and atmosphere is probably their ultimate dream home, but of course it goes without saying that most people can't afford to live in a castle. But a home that's generally, wherever it is, as long as it's equipped to receive guests on a regular basis and it's easy to maintain so they can quickly clear up after any kids and pets, visitors and so on, that would suit them really well. And if it happens to have stunning views of nature or the city, all the better. So on to the mother now. Their mother or primary caregiver probably ran the household like a business, taking care of and keeping a close watch on everything and everyone within it. And they were probably very far from traditional or subservient in personality. She was probably the person who wore the trousers, so to speak. She was direct, assertive, and action-oriented. She also seemed to have an abundance of energy, which may have puzzled her family, considering how hard she worked in the home. And her children probably saw her as someone who was in charge and knew what they were doing. They were the person to go to with any kind of issue because they just knew that it would be swiftly sorted out in a no-nonsense way. And while she may not have been especially warm and fuzzy, some absolutely would have been, but maybe she just focused mostly on doing things in an efficient manner at home. And she probably taught her children to be especially assertive and confident, perhaps from a young age as well. She wanted them to be independent and clever, and to really enjoy life to the fullest extent. Okay, so on to family and heritage. Their family was probably very warm-hearted and emotional, but also fiercely independent. So as kids, they may have been encouraged by their family to become self-reliant and pursue their personal goals, hobbies, and interests independently and with confidence. There may be a tradition of strong leadership within the family tree. Perhaps some of their siblings, uncles, aunts, or cousins played pioneering roles, for instance, as very successful and inspiring researchers, scientists, or entrepreneurs. If they look back far enough in their lineage, they might discover a female relative who stood remarkably ahead of her time by campaigning perhaps for things like equal rights for women. In some extreme circumstances, the home may have been a place that saw perhaps too much discipline imposed by the mother and or the father and any other family member who lived with them, perhaps like an older brother. And under such circumstances, growing up may have felt a little more like a challenge than an adventure. This holds especially true for those whose parents worked in fields related to order and authority, like law enforcement or the military. Emotional foundations are also governed by the fourth house, and simply being physically capable of doing all the things they want to do and need to do in order to survive and thrive at home makes them feel happy. They might be really hard on themselves at times if they're forced to stop working inside or outside the home for a while. So, for example, if they come down with a cold or the flu, or they hurt themselves somehow by falling over, they might become very frustrated that they can't go to the office or maintain their home, clean around the home, that kind of thing. Generally, being able to pursue their aspirations and do whatever they want, whenever they want, inside and outside of the home, provides them with a sense of security. If they were ever to find themselves under the control of others, especially within the home, they would quickly feel trapped and unhappy. Equally, any attempts at all to restrict their emotional expression would not go down particularly well with them. Their nurturing and caregiving tendencies are very interesting. So, while they may absolutely adore children and animals in particular, they may not have the most patience with them, even less so with family members their own age and older who might misbehave by attempting to control them. However, that absolutely doesn't mean they don't love them. I think they love them fiercely. It's just that they're usually very busy at home and they can't accommodate too many distractions, and they really, really dislike any loss of autonomy. Their approach with family members, particularly those who are dependent on them, involves supporting their personal growth and self-sufficiency to foster a sense of individual autonomy within the household. They also naturally understand that their family need freedom as they are. After all, they are individuals with their own needs, wants, and goals. So, with regard to the past, another fourth house theme, they don't really like to dwell on feelings for extended periods of time. They prefer to address emotional matters as swiftly as possible. Even if their past was very difficult, they wouldn't want to keep going over old terrain. They would just much rather focus on the present and also the future and cherish the most positive memories that they have of the past. If their home life was a bit too chaotic growing up, that likely changed when they were older. Perhaps they became more settled in themselves and learned to view life, especially their home life, in a more balanced way. They knew from a young age that if they focused on creating a good life for themselves, that would mean that would be the most productive use of their time and energy. So finally, on to endings and closure. The endings they experience with relationships are mostly quick and fuss-free. They may also be brought about through impulsivity. So, for example, if they feel neglected by a partner, they may just call an end to things quite quickly. They're perfectly capable of just closing chapters, being very logical, cool-headed about it, and moving on. Their retirement years are filled with activity, typically, including plenty of physical activity, more so than the next person. They enjoy keeping fit and healthy, maybe, working out, walking a lot, maybe running, swimming, and they tend to watch what they eat and how they spend their time. Some could even start a business in their senior years, especially if it's something they've always wanted to do, and why not? Whatever they do, they need to feel free to do exactly as they please and enjoy themselves thoroughly. I think the last thing they would be able to tolerate in their old age is being bossed around and controlled by others. That really wouldn't work for them at all. Okay, so that concludes this episode on Aries in the 4th house. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.